Hi folks, welcome to my Pit Retro Journal. This is going to be a video for Dawsember, which is where we celebrate all things MS-DOS in the month of September. I am going to be doing a video this time on MS-DOS 4.0, which was a there was a multitasking version of MS-DOS 4.0 that came out. It was actually never released in the US. As far as I can tell, it was released in Europe, and I'm not even sure if it was ever actually released because the versions I found are pretty buggy. I found a 1984 beta version and also 1985, which is even more buggy than the beta version. As you know, if you watch my channel, that I really like looking at 80s multitasking operating systems. I looked at Concurrent DOS last year in Dawsember, and right now I'm running one of my favorite preemptive microkernels, which is a QL. I've got two jobs running, and and I can change the priority 1,0,1, and you can see that one of the tasks, I'll clear the screen just to see what's going on here. You can see now that one of the tasks is running much slower than the other. It's just going a couple of lines at a time while the other one's bouncing, and that's because one job has 16 and the other one has 1. I know it's a little hard to see because the QL doesn't keep windows, it just overwrites them, but the idea is still the same, and so it's kind of cool to see that. Maybe SP, which one is it? Jobs. SP job 1,0,4. Give it a little bit more speed. And then clear the screen. I'm basically setting the screen to high color, which clears it. And you can see that one is running much faster than the other one, right? So the kind of job control. I did a video also on how the Amiga Exec kernel lacks that kind of job control. And although there was a nice add-on, the executive suite that gave you sort of a nice option that Unix uses or Linux uses. So, but again, I'm not going to be talking about the QL today. I really wanted to be talking about MS-DOS 4.0 Multitasking Edition. And so I'm going to do that on my desktop. So let's go there to check it out. Okay, here we are. I have PCM running, and it's, I've tried DOSBox, and I've got two versions of this, the 1984 beta version, 1985 buggier non-beta version. I can get the 1985 version to run on DOSBox, but not the 84 version. I also like PCM better, so this is the emulator I'm using, and I'm using IBM AT. You can look at the configuration, just a bog IBM AT. It's got plenty, but that's what I'm using. I'm using I don't know what the 286.8 is, 40K RAM, just again standard EGA, nothing special. Default settings in here. EGA color, yeah. That's the one that it just sets by default. And then I have two 360K disks plus a hard disk that's about 9-10 megabytes in size. All right. And then as far as the software I'm using, so this disk 1 and disk 2 are from the beta version. This is the 85 version. I've got these, I'll put in the link where I got them from, but basically two sets of disks. The non-beta version just has 2 disks, and this is just from the download site. But the beta version has artwork, which is just kind of shows you what the disks look like. It's got documentation, and I'll go through that briefly, and then it even has them as zip files. I don't know what this is. Oh, IMDs. Anyways, these are the disk images I used. So those are the ones I'm going to try. Then I also have some software. By the way, I found this cool one, 525 DOS games, and I grabbed some of them off there. I've been going through that. It's kind of a fun package that all came. It came on a zip in a zip file. And then I found a few other ones, like my Cyan chess. I've got some other chess games. PC4 is the exchange program that's from Cyan, that's on the QL. It works on DOS, but it won't work on multitasking DOS. I think it's a bit more memory hungry. And then tried different versions of BASIC, and unsuccessful on the beta version, but on the more buggy version, I was got able to run. In any case, so let's look at the documentation, which I have right here. It has all sorts of things. Again, this was a beta version for developers, but it has command guide. And here it just lists some of the executables. I haven't played with any of those yet, so and I saw one that I didn't even see, which was it exec? It seemed a lot like the QL. Anyway, it's a session manager we want to use, and they do have a session manager PDF. And here it kind of talks about how you can define things and how you can even create a init file. But yeah, those are the main commands: are define, which you give it a program key, the name, and then arguments like the working directory, well, arguments for the program name and then the working directory. And then you can restart, kill, or initialize via the program key. And I've tried all three of those, and it just seems to kill the session manager. So again, this is probably still buggy. But anyway, so that's what we're going to try first. So I've already booted it up. And if I do a directory on this, you'll see that SM, so under bin is where the session manager is. And so I just have to type SM, and it comes up. There it is. And it comes up with two windows already. We've got F7 and F8. So if I hit F7, it takes me to my A directory. And if I have to hit Alt F10 to get back. And now I hit F8, and now it's on my C directory. And so I can go and explore. Again, I've got games and utilities, etc. But the games is what I wanted to try first. So I'm going to go under this. And my favorite chess game is Cyan. I'm pronouncing it right. That's how I pronounce it. And then if I just type chess, here it is. I'm going to move the mouse away. Actually, if I click on it, it should actually capture the mouse. Yeah. And I'm going to say color. And here's the game. And I like to do it in 3D mode. So much more fun. And I can play chess. Opening move. Yeah. And let's bring a knight out. I played this when I was younger on the QL all the time. All right, but now if I hit Alt F10, it gets me back to my session. I'm sorry, I keep saying session manager, and I hit F7, and now I'm back on MS-DOS again. Go back to the session manager, and this time I'm going to hit Escape. And now I can define a key. I'm going to say define F6 to be another. Now, what I haven't tried is I've always done command.com instead of actually typing in the actual application. That should work, but I'd rather have the shell so I could run the application. And it turns out with the non-beta version, that's actually how they've changed it, that you no longer type in the command, you just start a shell up. So I'm keeping that for now. So this is going to start to shell up again. And so here, if we go under MISC, there is WordPerfect. I tried PC4, CD PC4. And if I try to run Quill, it'll just say not insufficient memory. And even before I run Cyan Chess, it does the same thing. So it just doesn't work. Anyway, WordPerfect, though, it does work. So I'm going to type in WordPerfect. And it's going to ask for its home directory, so which is MISC WordPerfect. And here it is. And I can say hello world. Well, hello, how are you? Oops, question mark. And it's got all the features. For instance, you can go, is it Alt 1? There it is. Alt 3, you can see file management, see what it is. It'll do that for you, and then escape, get back out of it. What's interesting about that is that I actually don't like that environment. And this is where multitasking comes in handy. I'd rather just do Alt F10 and do a F7. And then here, just go to MISC and use the DOS to show me what files are there, because it feels a bit more natural. And I have a test document right there. Oh, my mouse is captured if I do this. I've got a test document right here. And so now if I go Alt F10 and go back into, I think it is F6, I can now go Alt 7 and retrieve test.doc, and it'll load it in. WordPerfect is weird. It just merges the files. So that hello world was what I had stored in the file. In any case, I can go back to F10. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. I can do another. So here's the thing. What I've learned is I can run 2 programs, and if I run a third, I run out of memory. And I think it's because it keeps a screen buffer, and that's what it's costly. Let me demonstrate this to you. So I'll do another one. I'm going to do I'm going to define F5, and I'll define it as a command.com, and I'll put that on C as well. So now again, I've got, it's still working. I've got F10. Just to show you, I can go to F8. My chess game is still working. Let's bring my knights out. Yep. Okay. Alt F10. I can go to F6, which is my word processor. Still working. So I can go back to F10. And so now going to F5, I can go back to MISC CD. We're going to go CD games. And we have Aldo, CD Aldo. It's like in Mario's. If I hit Aldo, it runs. And what's interesting is as I'm playing this, you can jump. If I hit Alt F10, nothing. It just won't do it. This has enough memory to play, but it can't otherwise. If I park here, I'll be fine. So what I have to do is escape it. Now if I do Alt F10, everything works again. I can go again F8. Let's do another move. Let's move this piece up. Alt F10, F6. Still working. ... Alt F10. Back to F5. It doesn't matter. I can do F5 or F7. Let's do F7. CD. Now if I go to CD games, there's another game I can play, is Maze, CD Maze. Amazing. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit because this does get loud. Turn the volume down. Okay. And I'll turn it back up after this, but this is just kind of a loud game. And it's going to ask for colors, sure. Yes, I don't want instructions. A and A. And so there's the game. And if you'll see in a second, it's going to go, yeah, see, it's just loud. Yay, 50. I've gotten better at it. But again, if I try to do Alt F10, it'll actually work, but what will happen is I'll run out of memory. Let me show you first by quitting. I'm good. Alt F10. And again, we're going to go back to 8. Still playing chess. I had to tell Black to move because it was thinking. I don't know if it seems to have it in a pretty strong mode. Not that I'm a strong chess player, but if I say that goes up, yep, and then Alt F10, back to F6 for word processing. ... Everything still works. Again, I can go Alt 2, yeah, file. That still works. Escape, escape. So again, not showing anything you don't already know. And then if I go back to Alt F10 and go back to either 7 or 5, I'll show you what happens. If I go to, let's try another one. CD chess. No, let's stay with maze. CD maze. And just type amazing again. It'll run. Yes. And it doesn't matter if I choose color or not. No, I don't want instructions. And okay. So now if I do, I'm going to type Alt F10, you'll see what happens. Yeah, you get save screen failed error code equals F whatever. And Session Manager is now crashed. In fact, I have to reboot the whole system because it is just broken. So Alt F10 no longer works. So what's happening with a third app is you just don't have enough screen memory, which is surprising with 640K. I'm going to reboot this. All right, back to rebooting. Start Session Manager up again. What I wanted to do this time is, again, I'm going to go F8. And this time I'm going to start a different chess game, CD games, CD chess. And the reason why is if you look, if I go to Psion, it doesn't do completion. Chess is, the chess game itself is only 2K, but it has all these OVL files, so it's pretty big. If I go to chess, that is 46K, and that's a very primitive chess game. And if I go to my chess, that's a bit more like Psion chess, and that's 52K. But it's Chess 88 that I wanted to try. Chess 88, because look at this. It's only less than 10K in size. So you'd think I should be able to run a ton of these. So let me just run these. This is a two-dimensional chess. I don't have to do chess. And I want to be white and level 1. And here we are. And I can go delete, insert. And yeah, I'm playing. So now I can go Alt F10 and go do F7 this time. Go also on C, CD games, CD chess 88. And again, type chess. This time I'm going to be black, level 1. Sorry, black, level 1. Okay, and then insert. Yep, playing games. And again, they both still work. Alt F10, I can go to F8 and just continue playing. Again, bring my rooks out. Delete, insert. Yeah. Now, what happens if I create a new one? So define F6 a command.com C:, and I go CD games, CD chess 88, and do chess. I'll be white, level 1. And if now I go Alt F10, screen failed error, same error, and I'm done. So it only allows 2 screens, and so it doesn't even have anything to do with the size of the program, which is weird. So what I wanted to show you next is I'm going to change these disks to the next version, and you'll see it's slightly different. It actually if I tried to run basic GW basic and quick basic. GW basic and quick basic wouldn't even show on the screen. Basic would start up, then it would give an error on the screen constantly, so it wouldn't run either. So now these programs are able to run on the other version. That's why I wanted to show it to you. So again, this is MS-DOS. I don't know if I already did this. and I'll do drive B as a second disk. And again, I'm going to fast forward through this, so I'm going to hard reset. Here we go. As you can see here, it actually says 1981-85. It actually clears the screen. When it first boots up, it'll say 81, 82, 83, 84, 85 Microsoft Corp. But you can see this one says 85. Now, what's interesting here is you actually don't start the session manager because it's already started. And I can't believe I can't say the word. What you do this time is you hit the Alt key, and it comes up with this really cool menu. And if you start a new one, it's just going to start a new command prompt. And so here, so basically it decided that a shell, so I like how they sort of thought through this and said, hey, whenever you do a shell, it should be a different, multitasking shell. It should always have the shell associated with it. And you can do, so now you have two command prompts. One is on A and one is on C, right? So that's kind of cool. So I like that. However, let me just start with the simplest one. CD, I'm going to start with chess 88, just so you can see what was frustrating about this. If I do chess 1, everything's still good. That works. Now, if I go and hit Alt, you'll see that it'll come up with the menu. So, okay, everything's fine. I can go to the command option. Great. And then I can go back to chess, and it actually says chess, so that's cool. But it screws up the screen. It screws it up in different ways. If I actually just do Alt and go back to chess, yeah, it messes screens up in different ways. And I've tried different screen drivers, and it just doesn't work. So I believe I can, I think you can say Control C on this. Yep. And so, CD up. And I don't know how to change back to the lower resolution, CD Psion. And if I do chess here, it already gives you that. And so I think, color. Oh, perfect. So it's back to normal, and F2 gives you that. But again, the same goes here. I do F and I go, oh yeah, this one. So Psion actually crashes it because right now I can't do anything. I am dead in the water. So, it's unfortunate because, it does run other things. So let me reboot again and show you the final things it can do well that, the beta version can't. So it's kind of a, I wish the combined versions might be good. So let me do that. All right. So what I want to show you here is if I go into, C drive, and I wanted to show you that you can run basic. I forget which version, but I'm going to do the very simple one, basic. But I wanted to show you a flaw in this. If I go 10, let I equal 1, 20, let I equal I plus 1, 30, print I, semicolon, comma, 40, go to 20. If I run this, and I do this, notice that we're at 171. If I go, I start a different shell up and do a bunch of other things, I think I can go into, I think this will run WordPerfect. Let me see if this will run WordPerfect. Yeah, WordPerfect is a pretty friendly, app. MISC WordPerfect. Yeah, so that's running, and I can even, I think I can load a file, which is Alt. Oh, that's the way. If I try to load a file, it brings up the menu because it's Alt. And I have to quit that, and then I can say test.doc. Oops. And it loads the file. In any case, if I say Alt again, and I go back to basic, I've been out of there for a while, it starts back at 171 and just continues, right? It hasn't even, done very much. Again, we're at, going back Alt. So we're at 1377, and it printed those pretty quickly. If I go back to basic and, type, how is the world doing today? And then, again, want to wait a little bit, but we're at 1300 and it moves pretty fast. So, if you go and hit that again in the basic and keep track of, yeah, we're still at 1300. So you can see that it actually paused it. So as a multitasking OS, I'm not sure how useful it is. And by the way, if I go back to WordPerfect and I exit out of this, so it's Alt plus, no exit. And now if I want to CD up, CD util, CD IBM, and I run the same one again, we're frozen. If you remember, this is the example I did on the QL when I was using choice. Again, if you haven't watched my video, I'll put a link up in the corner. But a video where multitask MS-DOS, I think it was 3.2, on a QL with 512K of memory, and I got two things to run. Both could run basic, and they both would actually be run preemptively. This is supposed to be a preemptive operating system. It doesn't seem like one, so I don't know. But it has promise. I think I like Concurrent DOS better, but yeah, this has its issues. In any case, I wanted to show you this. So let me go back to my desktop. Yeah, so interesting. MS-DOS 4.0. It's I did Concurrent DOS did I do it last year? And I really like Concurrent DOS, although it was by Digital Research. It was somewhat limited. MS-DOS, it seemed like Microsoft was in their heart in it, or they just went with a beta version. I don't know what that other version was. Had promise, but again, the fact that it lacks actually the preemptive multitasking, that it's really just a task switcher, it lets you sort of open things up. But if you don't have the memory, why open them up unless they're running in the background? So I don't really understand that. Certainly, machines like the Amiga and the QL did it better, and I like those microkernels, but still it was kind of interesting to sort of explore that. And, I guess if you had the memory, you could, I could have two versions of chess running and sort of train myself without, because you keep the state at least, right? But yeah, so in any case, I hope you have a good December. Watch a lot of December videos, and then have a nice Christmas and a happy New Year. I'll have a bunch of other videos coming up. And I'll see you also in the new year. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.